We're here at Kanarra Falls. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's beautiful weather today. This hike is a little under 4 miles round trip, and you have to get a permit to do this one. It's not actually in Zion National Park, it's a little bit outside, so it should be fun. Let's get started. We ended up ascending over 700 feet on this trail, and most of that happened in the first mile. And because we came here on a Monday, we only saw a handful of people. We followed along the creek and ended up crossing back and forth many times before we made it into the canyon. The trail started to get smaller and smaller as the rocks began to get higher and higher above us. The further in we made it, the more scrambling we had to do. So I'm wearing these waterproof pants and socks. And when we started, it was really hot. We were baking in the sun, but now that we're down in the canyon, it's really nice and cool. It's pretty much perfect. Once we got to this point, the only way forward was to walk through the creek. The first of the 3 falls had a really nice ladder to walk up. The next one was a little more fun, but a little more challenging to navigate.
The log is steady. The log is steady. Put your foot on that knot.
But there's more of it right here.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
No, great.
We finally made it back to the final waterfall, got our pictures taken, and headed back. I'd managed to make it the entire way without getting more than just my shoes wet, and I wasn't going to let that change. Coming down the log ended up being a bit more challenging than going up the log. Our last trail of the day was the Red Reef Trail, which is located in the Red Cliffs National Conservation Area and about 45 minutes outside of Zion National Park. This trail had a mix of interesting plants and pretty cool scrambles along what used to be a flowing waterway. We were surprised to see some blooming aspen trees along the trail, which are Hannah's favorites. And the coloring of the rocks were a deep red like you might see on Mars. Hannah cannot pass a flowering plant without taking a picture of it in the desert.
Look how pretty the purple is.
Okay. Well, this tree up here is really cool. So the last time I was here, this was just like a flowing creek, but we were able to walk through here because it's pretty much dried up. It kind of just stops right there. We'll see if the rest of the trail is dried up or not. And this trail's at a campground, and you can tell there's a lot of foot traffic through here because there are just pathways all over the place that lead in different directions, but they all end up in the same place. I had been to this trail a few years earlier, and from what I can remember, this section was a flowing creek at one time. I'm guessing somebody tried to jump off the cliff right there into the water. That must have hurt. Put one foot in each step here. Well, this used to be the creek bed. It's pretty desolate. You can see where the water line used to be. There's a little bit left over down there. And I think that's about as far as we're gonna go. As we headed back to the car, we had to scramble down the side of this wall, which was probably actually the scariest part of the whole trip because we did not want to fall into that disgusting water below. Here's the rope. Thankfully, we both made it down the scramble without falling in. After that, we headed back to the car and called it a day. We're here to, let me try that. Go for a stop recording.